So just thinking about non-prime number behavior. So what that number is going to do is it's going to arrive onto the screen, but it has to arrive in a particular order. So it's got to arrive after the other sprite, and then it's got to randomly move around the screen, which is the same as what the prime number does. And then if Bluey moves over it, then we want to indicate that somehow, and we want it to go away. Otherwise, we just want it to go away, ready for the next number. So that's all we're implementing. Now this is going to be very straightforward because we've done most of our thinking with this particular 5 here. But also the other thing I was talking about before, which is that if this code happens to be true, so the sensor is picking up that, or the sensor on the number 5 is picking up that Bluey is touching it, the touch sensor is, then basically it kind of does this code, it hides, etc., and then it still falls out and does this particular one. And we added this stop script right at the bottom. Well, I think if we put the stop script straight after the last bit of the if, then it will do the gliding, and then if this is true, it will do these things, and then it will basically stop this running, which is actually what we want. And let's just put a stop script right at the end as well. So we'll just test that to make sure. So after you make any kind of changes with your code, you have to test it all of the time. So it does that, disappears, and then the script stops running because you can see that actually the white border doesn't appear around the script. Okay, so let's go and get another number. So let's choose a new sprite from file, and this is going to be a prime number, a non-prime number. So let's pick a non-prime number here, and we know that we need to change the color of it slightly, so we're just going to edit this number and just maybe choose a color to color it in. So let's choose that, and let's fill this bit in this color, and there we go. So that's a nice non-prime number there. So that was under costumes. And the other thing that we're going to do is call this 6, just like we've called the other one 5, so we don't have anything called sprite 1 or sprite 2. We know exactly what the names of our sprites are, because that really helps when we're making our script. Now, most of the code for 6 is like the code we have done for 5, apart from, a couple of things which we can kind of change. So one way of getting the same code added to the number 6 is if I click right on the very first part of the code there and duplicate it, and then just hover my mouse over the 6 until you get that faint border, then and click, and now click on the 6, then the code has been copied. If the code doesn't get copied, then obviously repeat it, click on duplicate, and make sure you've got a grey border around there before you click, and just be very happy with the grey border before you click. So I'm just going to press, I don't need that code duplicated, it's there, I just need to delete it now. Let's delete that part of the code. Okay, so this code has now got added to the number 6. So let's just work through the code and change the bits that don't make sense for a non-prime number. And one of the things, if we look at what we're supposed to be doing, is that it needs to arrive onto the screen after the other sprite. So what we need it to do is we need it to go there, and then we need it to show, and then we need it to just wait a few seconds, and I'm not quite sure how many seconds. So let's just do 7 seconds, but it kind of depends on how long the 5 takes really. So let's say wait about 7 seconds and then come along and do this bit here. And what this is going to do is glide to some random location, which is fine. Now, if this is touching Bluey, then we want to indicate that actually this number was not a prime number. So let's see whether we can change the effect to maybe like a pixelate effect, and keep that number to 50. I mean, you can change it to 100 to see what happens, but this time not play a drum, but play a different kind of sound. Not sure what a low tom sounds like. I can't. Let's find out what low tom sounds like. So let's just choose 45 here, and then I can double click. Okay, that's quite good enough. That's very different to the symbol that we got. So let's play that for one beat, wait, and then hide, and then go over here. And obviously if the if has happened, then we want the script to stop. Otherwise we want to carry on gliding. And if it's finished its gliding for a bit, then we want it to hide and come over here. So what we're going to test is whether it does actually disappear off the screen and doesn't appear until the 5 is over. So let's play this. Oh look, and it hasn't really gone too far away from the screen really, and it just kind of comes along. Not really happy about that. So I think what we'll do is we'll increase our wait to maybe 9 seconds and make sure this goes right off the edge of our screen. So let's make it go all the way to 400. Actually what we want it to do is kind of we want it to wait 9 seconds before it even shows up, so it doesn't even show up for a whole 9 seconds. So I just kind of undid these 2 blocks until I got them the right way around, and then attached everything back together. So my code just looks like that. So let's run this. So now the 5 goes along, and you know, we don't have to, we can select the 5 or not select the 5, it doesn't really matter what we're testing for. Alright, that's great. So the 6 comes at the right time. So let's see what happens when we, so it's a different effect and it's a different sound, and then it disappears, and that's what we want. So that's fantastic. So that was very, very straightforward. And then we'll look at the next part, which is scoring. So let's just stop this video here, because we've done our non-prime number in about 7 minutes.